What is up, you guys? My name is Roman, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. And today I'm going to be watching and reacting to Godzilla Minus Zero trailer breakdown in depth by Dangerville. This is a breakdown of the teaser that we got a little while ago. I reacted to it, though I had to trim it down because of copyright, unfortunately. But still, I'm going to post a video related to this, and that is reacting to this. So it'll break down some of the details that I missed, maybe. Anyway, let's get started.
It's here. The first trailer for Godzilla Minus Zero has released, giving us our very first glimpse of the film. And it is incredible. We not only get to see a setting that was hinted at in Takashi Yamazaki's earlier teaser, but we also get to see the new Godzilla design, as well as hints towards another monster.
Yeah, we do get a brief glimpse of the new Godzilla design. Looks like they added like a few extra spines, extra dorsal fins on him or something. Yeah.
One more terrifying and massive that Gojira may have to fight. The footage was unveiled just a few hours ago at CinemaCon, the yearly gathering where major studios and theater exhibitors come together to showcase what's coming next. Studios will often debut previews here, sometimes released publicly, other times kept strictly behind closed doors. And this time, one of those reveals was Godzilla Minus Zero, giving audiences their first glimpse at what's coming next from Toho. So let's not waste any more time. I'm too hyped to wait. Let's break down that teaser. Set 2 years following the events of Minus One, the sequel follows the family as they try and rebuild following Godzilla's attack. But something more terrifying has emerged. The footage opens with the haunting and now iconic score from Minus One by Naoki Sato, which I'm happy to hear return, being layered over shots of what appears to be outright destruction, carnage from Godzilla's rampage in Tokyo from the first film. A film that's all about the lingering effects of war and trauma, and this introduction continues that by showcasing us the horrors of what occurred on that day, and how it will no doubt leave a lasting impact on the survivors, all while they try and rebuild Japan. We then hear American soldiers saying, if their operation fails, maybe we'll finally get to use it, which has horrifying implications. I feel the Americans were left out of Minus One a bit too much, so I'm interested to see them have a more prominent role in Minus Zero, just like they did in actual post-war Japan. And it seems that they are once again suggesting the use of atomic weaponry. However, they could also be talking about another classic weapon used in the original 1954 film.
The oxygen destroyer? Don't tell me. That has to be it.
Perhaps the oxygen destroyer will make an appearance as new experimental technology. We then see shots of ships surrounding the area where Godzilla was reportedly pronounced dead, completely broken to pieces following the efforts of the team in Minus One. This is most likely an overhead view of the ending of the previous film, since we can see all these civilian vessels. On the left, we can actually see a B-29, the same kind of plane used to drop the bombs on Hiroshima, which implies the Americans were actually there during the whole battle and didn't intervene, and were perhaps even thinking of dropping a nuclear weapon if Koichi's plan failed. However, as someone is now analyzing the location of his death,
Koichi, you mean?
Something might be happening at this spot, and they might be now uncovering something horrifying. The return of Godzilla, regrowing from a husk to a new, more powerful form, and they're trying to figure out what to do about it before the inevitable happens. They've clearly been testing on this location using bombs, since you can hear an American saying, "Abort third drop." So perhaps they're afraid Godzilla is ready enough to outright open fire with his atomic breath. Before we check out the next shot, we'd love it if you subscribed. 64% of you haven't, so we're trying to close that gap. So go over there and press that button, please. Or don't, it's up to you, but I love you either way. Minami Hamabe returns as Noriko Oishi, and we see this shot of her crying. Not sure what about, but there's plenty to cry about, to be fair. But it may simply be about the safeguarding of her daughter in the wake of a potential Godzilla emergence. It's been suggested for quite some time now that Minus Zero will have a heavy emphasis on Noriko as a character, exploring her more in greater detail. And there have been all sorts of theories on what the mark on her neck means and how it connects to the King of the Monsters. Next up we see Ryunosuke Kamiki, returning, of course, as Koichi Shikishima, the legend that helped take down Godzilla. He is once again flying a plane, however, he's flying through something really bizarre. What's seen can only be described as floating debris
Yeah, that's what I was wondering what that was.
flying in the air, defying gravity, all while being surrounded by Godzilla's blue radiation. He screams in anger, likely as this scene follows some catastrophic event that he was powerless to stop. Now, for starters, this is absolutely insane visually, but what could have done this? Think about what monsters have anti-gravity powers. Space Godzilla? I mean, yeah, but he's already in supernova, and they're definitely not using him for this.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Plus, it wouldn't really fit in with the universe of. It wouldn't really fit in with the Godzilla minus one universe. I feel like that would be too. I don't know, like fantasy.
No, this is most likely the work of Ghidorah, and the blue energy is likely the residue of Godzilla's radioactive attack used in a standoff.
Oh, well, I personally, I heard it might also be Ghidorah, but I personally don't want it to be Ghidorah because he's just overused in so many movies at this point. Like, just give him a break.
They could also have just changed the effect from yellow to blue just for the trailer to hide the cosmic horror's presence. Think about it, the film is called Godzilla Minus Zero. Ghidorah
Monster Zero.
is called Monster Zero. There's a bright golden light in the poster, and who else is golden? Ghidorah.
Ghidorah.
And if you rotate that logo for the film, who does it look like? That's right, Ghidorah.
What?
Yeah, but that's just like a G for Godzilla.
Ghidorah.
That last one might be a bit of a reach, but still, I am
Yeah, I'll also I hated that joke in King of the Monsters. The gonorrhea joke. I did not like that.
more than convinced that Ghidorah is going to be the main antagonist of Minus Zero, that Godzilla will have to defeat. Hate to say we told you so, but, you know... Now, this doesn't automatically mean Godzilla will be a hero, because like in Godzilla Raids Again, he was still an antagonist.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's not like the MonsterVerse where he's a force of nature and protecting. Here he's just, it's more of like, I would say it's more like Godzilla Raids Again, where he's still an antagonist, but at the same time he's fighting another monster. He's just not protecting us. Does that make sense? Yeah.
But his natural instincts kicked in, and he had to take down another rival predator. The same thing could likely happen with Ghidorah. However, I'm also sure that Noriko's new connection with Godzilla could somewhat humanize him, which is what motivates him to defend them. But that's just a theory. A film theory, enough of that. And also, tell me I'm crazy, but before
You're quoting film theory.
this shot cuts, doesn't this sound a bit like Ghidorah going... I know you can hear it too. I'm not crazy.
I didn't really hear it that much, to be honest. Okay, wait.
Before this shot cuts, doesn't this sound a bit like Ghidorah going...
Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Bless me. Sorry about that. Just had to sneeze for a bit. Just had to let out a sneeze, rather. Okay, I'm back.
I know you
Okay, I kind of heard it a little bit, but I'm not quite sure.
can hear it too. I'm not crazy. We next see a small Japanese town under attack. A building crashes down, however we can't currently see what it is. The shot might just be unfinished, or they could have deliberately left out the VFX in this scene to not spoil what's causing the carnage. We then see possibly one of the best shots in cinema. Like, this is actually incredible. We finally see Godzilla. Just look at him! And he's rocking an all-new design, more angular, terrifying, with large, pronounced shoulder spikes.
Well, I wouldn't say totally new. I mean, he still looks like how he did before, but like with extra spikes. And we haven't gotten like a full clean look at it, this design yet, but I don't know.
Thick, bulky arms, and a lot more dorsal plates. Just think about how much power is stored in them. He looks haunting.
Oh,
and
yeah.
jacked. This is like the ocean chase from that first film, but on steroids. We see this large flying boat, similar to the Hughes F4 Hercules, And as it
Flying boat. That looks like a plane.
tries to take off, Godzilla lunges from the water to try and grab it. Absolutely terrifying. We then get the title card, Godzilla Minus Zero, with that new logo, which I still believe is Noriko praying. But then, a final shot. Godzilla lumbering past the Statue of Liberty. He's about to make landfall in
Yeah, see, here he looks more like how he did in -1. He looks more similar to his previous design, but yeah, let's see.
New York City. It's funny because this was actually hinted at when Takashi Yamazaki announced the film at New York. This shot is actually genius. Because of the angle they used, they set it up so Godzilla looks small, but then he walks behind it, showing he's actually much larger now and towers over it.
Oh, that's genius. Yeah.
Yamazaki, you beautiful man. Remember,
Yeah.
the Statue of Liberty is 93 meters tall. Gojira in the first film was only 50 meters, which means he's grown substantially. This puts him more towards the scale that we saw in the Heisei films, where he was teetering towards 100 meters tall. He might even be able to go toe-to-toe against the MonsterVerse Godzilla now.
Oh.
I mean, it makes sense, especially if you're going to have Godzilla fight, and in a city that's renowned for its massive skyscrapers, even during the 1940s. This sets Minus Zero up as a global catastrophe, a threat that will take the kaiju overseas. The Americans seemed mostly unbothered by the emergence of Godzilla on Japanese soil, but when another arrives that can fly and easily make it to America, now it's their concern. This movie is going to be insane. Interestingly, he doesn't seem to be sporting his hyper-evolved design here. He looks a lot more like his -1 design.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what lots of people are saying. I've seen a few other reactors say that
So perhaps
when they reacted to this trailer.
something is going to happen in the film that makes him evolve into his next most powerful form. I saw one theory that since the US has resorted to nuclear bombs so many times, that they might actually try and nuke him, which would of course take New York with him. But the plan fails and Godzilla comes out even stronger, which would be an incredible way to demonstrate the hubris of man and how ineffective atomic weaponry is when faced against forces of nature like this. Maybe we should start calling him Gigazilla. And then the teaser cuts to black. This teaser was awesome.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Of course, not too over-the-top revealing, but really just sets the stage for what to expect when Minus Zero drops later this year. Godzilla looks awesome, the prospect of him demolishing post-World War II New York sounds actually insane, and the fact Ghidorah will likely appear gets me hyped about how they're going to adapt him for the more grounded style of film. Like, I have no doubt they're going to really try and evolve Ghidorah here. You really get the sense that they have a higher budget this time around, and yet none of that grittiness has been lost. It still feels like a labor of love from Yamazaki, and I cannot wait to see it. Godzilla Minus Zero is set to be released in Japan on November 3rd, 2026, and North America and the rest of the world on November 6, 2026, and is actually the first Japanese film shot exclusively on IMAX, which is just
Wow.
groundbreaking. Godzilla's over here breaking more records. But what did you think of the trailer? Let us know in the comment section down below. And be sure to subscribe and stomp the notification button for more Minus Zero content. And give us a big old Kong-sized thumbs up, which helps this video reach even more fans. I've been Alistair, and we'll see you residents in the next one.
Alright, this was a great video. I got lots of, it made me even more hyped for it. However, I really hope that it isn't King Ghidorah, because I feel like he is just overused in so many movies. Like, I love him, and he's a great arch nemesis for Godzilla, and he's a great, he's an awesome monster, but, like, I feel like he's used in far too many films at this point. Like, give him a break. Like, give it, like, a new monster that we haven't seen in a while, or give us like an old monster that we haven't seen in a while, like, I don't know, King Caesar or Anguirus or just someone, or maybe use an unused monster like Bagan, or just a totally new monster. Like, I personally don't want it to be King Ghidorah, but that's just me. Anyways, hope you like this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, possibly share with a friend. And if you're new, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye bye.